A few days ago, I got this comment asking if Kaspa is dead, and later that day I also got a comment saying that Kaspa is going to zero. And this really got me thinking, could Kaspa be on the verge of a collapse, and is the price going to go to zero? I mean, after all, it hasn't been performing too well in terms of price lately. So that's what I'm going to be covering in today's video, so that you can make up your own mind if you want to sell your Kaspa or perhaps buy some more. The thing is that human psychology is very interesting, and there are, as many of you probably know, two main emotions that highly affect essentially any market: fear and greed. It lies in the nature of the Homo sapiens, the human species. The way fear and greed ties into Kaspa is very apparent in the investor sentiment. When Kaspa is pumping its all glory, like to the moon, it's straight up euphoric, and as you might have already guessed, when things are starting to go downhill, which eventually happens to any healthy asset, then the fear enters and really becomes apparent on X, Reddit, or in my comments. The euphoria has then vaporized and turned into fear, uncertainty, and doubt. However, there's one really interesting aspect to the price behavior of Kaspa that sets it apart from some other assets. You see, with many other assets, it can be very challenging to observe an obvious cycle and to determine various different trends when they arise. However, I find this particularly easy with the way that Kaspa moves, because the price of Kaspa seems to be very cyclical. Like, you can easily determine cycles when just looking at the charts. So what do I really mean with this? So let me explain what I mean with a cycle. The price of Kaspa starts to skyrocket to the upside, and when it has reached the top, it starts to consolidate and slowly start to depreciate in value over time, and then to find the bottom. And once it has consolidated for a while at the new bottom, it gets a new pump and the cycle starts all over again. This cycle has happened multiple times before, and the sequential pumps seem to have a 100-day interval between each other. And as discussed before, the perception or sentiment of Kaspa follows the price action. Therefore, when the price of Kaspa is pumping, everything is euphoric, and so is also the sentiment and perception of Kaspa. That is why we see so much hype around Kaspa when it pumps. And therefore, as you probably already realized, when price starts to drop again, the sentiment becomes worse and worse again, and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt is starting to enter the room once again. So when the price of Kaspa is moving up, it's the world's best technology. However, when the price is going down, it's a worthless meme coin. And as I also discussed, the price of Kaspa seems to be cyclical, so therefore, if the price is cyclical, that means that the sentiment or perception of Kaspa also is cyclical. Now, before I try to pinpoint where we're at in the current cycle so that you can decide whether you want to sell your Kaspa or perhaps buy some more, let's look at overall market conditions. In the past time, Bitcoin has been consolidating at the top and sort of entered a slight downward trend after having been shot up by Wall Street buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And therefore, basically the whole crypto market has been taking a tumble to the downside, and especially the altcoins. And this slight downward trend that Bitcoin entered affected a lot of cryptocurrency that depreciated much more than Bitcoin did. And Kaspa is especially one of those cryptocurrencies that saw a much more severe drawdown than Bitcoin. So that should sort of be explaining why Kaspa has been dropping in the past time. So here, as you can see, is the chart of Kaspa, and I marked out the cycles that I talked about. So if we look over here, we saw a pump right here, price started to go up, then it reached a top, consolidated, went down, found a bottom, consolidated, and sort of shot up. And that time period was 115 days between the pumps, and then we saw pretty much the same right here. It pumped, came up, consolidated, dropped, found the bottom, and shot up once again. And that one was 111 days between each other. And here we have had 84 days between the pumps, and then we had a 60-day. That has been the shortest one so far. But then if we move further on, and this time right here was actually when I sort of found Kaspa, so I was not really that early, but anyways, I sort of got in my first time around 7 cents. But at this point, we saw a pump, a top, consolidated, went down, found the bottom, consolidated, and shot up. And here we had a 94 days interval between the pumps. So this is the most recent pump that we had. It found the top, consolidated, went down, found the bottom, consolidated, and now we're just waiting for the shot up. And it has passed 98 days, so it could happen really anytime soon if these cycles are going to continue. And now I'm also going to turn on the indicators that I use to trade Kaspa. So don't get too like thrown off with these indicators. This right here is the 50 EMA, the red one is the 14 EMA, the yellow one is the 5 EMA, and the white one is the 200 EMA. So exponential moving averages, that is. What I'm looking for when the pumps are coming are these like green candles, and these green candles, they're nothing more than just indicating that there's volume coming into the shorts. So if we look at the green candle right there, let me just make this bigger. You can look at that candle right there. We saw that there had basically been no volume whatsoever for a couple of days, and then we saw one big volume candle pop up indicating that there's probably some bigger players stepping in to move prices higher, and then we saw increases of volume the following days as well. And the same thing happened for the other pump, so nothing had been happening for a while here in terms of volume, and then that one volume candle came, and a lot of more volume candles followed. Yeah, and so it's basically when I see a volume candle breaking away from the 50 EMA after it has reached the bottom that I enter a long. But I like to trade Kaspa day to day, and I'm actually in a long right now over on Bybit. So I entered down here, and I'm looking to hold my position throughout the day or week depending on what the chart tells me. So here you can see I have my position right here, not that big of a position. I'm playing just with the amount, so I don't really care if I lose the money. It's okay for me to like lose the money, but that's of course not why I'm trading. I'm trading because I want to get money. So yeah, of course we're currently up 33% on this position. And if you also want to trade easily using leverage on Kaspa on Bybit, I leave a link down below where you can sign up on Bybit and receive bonuses just for signing up and depositing and trading cryptocurrencies. And I believe it would be reasonable to see Kaspa pump this upcoming week, because we have some news that could be like starting a pump, because on Wednesday we have inflation data coming out, and that can really drive the price of Kaspa up if of course the news are great, which I believe they will be, because we have been seeing good news lately with the unemployment change, etc. So hopefully that could be like a catalyst for Kaspa to start moving. But anyways, I'm waiting for the volume candles to be starting to appear over the 50 EMA, and then I'll enter a long that I'm going to be holding for a longer time frame. However, for the longer time frame of Kaspa, there's one other thing that we must pay attention to. Look, Kaspa is really in its infancy, and there are future realities where Kaspa has completely died and gone to zero. However, given the fact that it's undoubtedly the most revolutionizing blockchain technology to come, and that it has 2 whole books written about it, like real books, not any Medium article. And if you want to purchase these books, I leave 2 links down below in the description. And Kaspa has also reached this size and market cap without any tier 1 exchange backing it, which means that there's still a lot of potential for the price of Kaspa to move up. There were recently a post on Binance Square which was trending #1, which talked about which coins are going to get listed on Binance, and the first coin at the list was Kaspa. So hopefully that will be true. Because of this, I believe that a future with a Kaspa worth $0 is highly unreasonable. Also, given the fact that it was fair launched, which means that no one really has the amount of Kaspa needed to make the price go to zero. Like, it is not that easy to perform a rug pull on a token that was fair launched. Kaspa probably also has the most promising team in the crypto world right now. For example, Yonatan Sompolinsky has really been in the crypto game for a very long time. Probably the worst thing that could happen for Kaspa would be if the community lost faith, because it is the community's job to spread the word about Kaspa and to therefore also grow the community. So I'm firmly going to be holding on to my Kaspa, and of course I'm going to be storing them on my Tanium hardware wallet away from hackers. And if you also want to store your Kaspa safely, you can use the code Tashi to save 10% on your purchase when purchasing a Tanium hardware wallet. Now, for those of you who are new here, I hope that you enjoyed this content so far. I occasionally make videos on Kaspa every now and then, which means that I also make videos on general crypto topics. Did you know that there are 5 common mistakes mistakes that investors make that can lead to great harm for themselves if not avoided. If so, you can watch this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Tashi. Goodbye.